Hello Giants fans, welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. The Giants lost to the Nationals today, 11-6, and with Sean Manaea pitching, that really comes as no real surprise. Manaea was one bad free agent signing in the offseason. There's just no doubt about that. He's really not doing any real good for the Giants rotation. He allowed 8 runs today. Only 4 of them were earned, but I don't think that really just excuses the other 4. I'm just not sure that it works that way. It's not that the Giants couldn't get the bats going to life at all today. I mean, they scored 6 runs, and Michael Conforto and Lamont Wade Jr. both had 2-run shots in the late innings. Obviously, you never can predict from the start of a game how many runs you're going to have to score to win it. Yesterday, the Giants won 4-1. It was Logan Webb who just almost shut out the Nationals through 7 innings. He allowed 1, but just a very different performance now by Sean Manaea, and a different outcome for the game after the Giants got just so far behind. So it's their 2 home runs this time are wasted. It was not exactly a blowout. I wouldn't say. I mean, they lost by 5. I wouldn't say this game was exactly a blowout because of the fact the Giants were able to get on the board and all that. But it was a bad game nonetheless. And I think that all through it, they just didn't have a significant chance of winning. So it doesn't really fit in the category of a blowout, but it sure feels like one. So not a good one for the Giants. And I mean, it's a shame because it seems like they're able to at least hang in there with the bats and score some runs and sometimes have good pitching performances. Although we knew before the start of the season that the rotation would pretty much have to be lights out, And although it's been in general solid enough that maybe we're not really quick to complain about it, it's certainly not been lights out like it needed to be. And the Giants just have a long history of not being able to get best performance out of players that are supposed to be good. They also seem to have a history of just having previously good players, like previous baseball stars who maybe at the time they're playing for the Giants have just lost their stuff. And that's certainly the case with some of the Giants veterans and all that, and they can't help that. It was the case with Brandon Crawford and Brandon Belt, who now is gone, and Buster Posey, who now is retired, although Posey came back with a really good 2021 season. But I think this really extends to the free agents that they signed. They just haven't signed a free agent that's really worth having, well, at least not too many of them, in a long time. And honestly, Sean Manaea, it's just I don't think he was projected to be all that great. They spend way too much money on him in the offseason. I think that's the way he's turning out the way he is. I'm actually more surprised by the fact that Ross Stripling isn't pitching very well, because I thought that he was a good signing. That's the thing that really strikes me as an extreme disappointment. Well, anyway, the Giants are set to face the Diamondbacks next, and I believe that, I forgot to look, but I believe the Diamondbacks have a slim lead over the Padres, and they had the lead in the National League West for a while so far this year. But of course, the Dodgers have retaken the lead in the National League West. I mean, what else did you expect? But the D-backs remain second, I think. I think it's Dodgers, D-backs, and then Padres. So we have to face the fact that the Diamondbacks are a tougher opponent than we maybe thought they were going to be, and I know it seems enough to have the Dodgers and Padres in the National League West, and for the Diamondbacks to be a threat too. That's something the Giants are going to have to deal with in this 4-game series here. Now, just an interesting question that might come up in some of your minds, I don't know, it might come up is it better for the Giants to face the D-backs, or would you rather have them facing the Padres again? I mean, if the Padres are a step down in the division, you would think the Diamondbacks actually be a bit stronger. Is this going to be a harder test than playing the Padres? Whereas, in the Mexico series, they lost both games. If you just want my opinion, and this is just, we could get multiple good opinions on this for sure, but if you just want my opinion, I would rather see the Giants playing the Diamondbacks than the Padres. We're only in mid-May at this point, and I really think that what we've seen is not all that's going to be this year, and that ultimately the Padres will overtake the Diamondbacks and just kind of stay there as the second team in the National League West. So I'm looking at the way I expect things to pan out, and not so much the actual numbers as far as standings like right now. So if you want my opinion, I would rather have the Giants facing the Diamondbacks than the Padres, but still I think there will be some toughness in this. However, if they could take this series against the Diamondbacks, you just imagine like what kind of ground it would give the Giants. And I understand that this division is not nearly as important for them as just baseball in general, due to the fact that if they get into the postseason, it'll be as a wild card team for sure. But I still think I would like to see them take this one against the Diamondbacks. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. Also, please leave your questions and comments. You know where to do it. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.